Welcome to the Local Government Elections Debate, brought to you by the Jamaica Debates Commission in association with the Canadian International Development Agency, CIDA, the British High Commission, the United Nations Development Programme, UNDP, the DNG Foundation, Jamaica Public Service Company Limited, and Columbus Business Solutions. Tonight, we focus on local government management and reform. Our moderator is Archibald Gordon.
Good evening. Welcome to the first national political debate on local government organized by the Jamaica Debates Commission, staged before a live studio audience. The debate is intended to assist in identifying, clarifying, and understanding the policy direction, approach, and issues being presented in this local government election campaign. This evening's debate is in the form of a team debate. As is customary in television debates production, the audience is prohibited from applauding the debaters, except for now, when we announce each team. For the Jamaica Labour Party, Member of Parliament Desmond McKenzie. Senator Robert Montague. And Mayor Milton Brown. For the People's National Party, Mayor Brenda Ramsey, Minister Noel R. Scott, and Senator Angela Brown Burke. Members of the panel of questioners are Natalie Campbell of IRI FM, Dwayne Burbick of CVM TV, and Roma Tomlinson of the Jamaica Observer and Northern Caribbean University. I'm your moderator, Archibald Gordon. The guidelines for tonight's debates have been previously agreed and are posted on the Debate Commission's website at www.jamaicadebatescommission.org. The guidelines include questions being no longer than 30 seconds and each team being allowed 3-minute opening and 2-minute closing statements, 90 seconds to respond to each question, and rebuttals are limited to 60 seconds. The questions posed in tonight's debate are created by the panel of journalists and are not influenced by the Jamaica Debates Commission in any way. Arising from a coin toss earlier, Team PNP will make the first of the opening statements, while Team JLP will make the final of the closing statements at the end of the debate. And now the 3-minute opening statement from Team PNP.
My fellow Jamaicans, good evening. Team PNP thanks the Jamaica Debating Committee for raising the funds to have this debate this evening. The People's National Party's commitment to local government is long-standing and unquestionable. Evidence shows major advances has always been under the People's National Party. History will show that Norman Manley in 1937 developed Jamaica's social welfare. This was followed by the social changes in the 1970s led by Michael Manley. The combination of community development and local government was developed under Prime Minister P.J. Patterson, and continued under Portia Simpson Miller. These elections are extremely important. Local government reform is a critical plank of the People's National Party's platform. We will increase autonomy of local government, increase the ability of local government to finance and provide services for the citizens. We'll give effect to people power by putting power where the people matters. The People's National Party has never dissolved local government. The Jamaica Labour Party has done so on several occasions. Over the last 4 years, local government reform seemed to have gone to sleep. My fellow Jamaicans, as former councillor and local government minister, our Prime Minister, has always been committed to local government reform. We will entrench local government, give legal recognition to the community development committees, the area development committees, the parish development committees, so that we will give power to the people where it matters. We invite Jamaicans to join us in this exciting and important step. Please show your willingness to participate by going out to vote come Monday, the 26th. Vote for the People's National Party.
Thank you, Mr. Ascott. Let us now hear Team JLP's 3-minute opening statement.
Good evening, my fellow Jamaicans. Let me, on behalf of the Jamaica Labour Party and a wide extension, the people of Jamaica, say how grateful we are to the Jamaica Debates Committee for affording local government the privilege to participate in this national debate. The Jamaica Labour Party have answered the call previously to provide stable, honest, and sincere leadership at the local government level. We did so before, and we are now ready, willing, and able to continue that process. The Jamaica Labour Party has ensured that under our stewardship at the level of local government, we have put forward positive results in terms of how local government is to be operated. When I served as mayor, led a team of councillors, and right across the country, my colleague local government practitioners demonstrated a will, a commitment to enhance local government. It was under a Jamaica Labour Party government administration that the forward march for the full entrenchment of local government was started. We made significant gains. Under Jamaica Labour Party administration, the parish councils were able to promote the question of transparency, accountability. We provided a stable environment for the advancement of local government. We are confident, we are certain of the Jamaica Labour Party's commitment to local government. It has been proven before. We are committed to that task. We do not want to speak about local government in terms of empowering the people without, first of all, empowering the system so that the people can fully participate in the system. Because it is when you empower the system, the people will be able to participate. We want to put local government on a footing that no political party, no minister can interfere with. We want to create a local government system where there are clear interactions between the local authorities and the Minister of Finance, because it takes cash to care, and without money, a proper local government system can never survive. I invite Jamaica, based on our performance since 2003, to continue to give that level of support to the Jamaica Labour Party. We did it before, and we are more than capable of doing it again. I urge Jamaicans to vote JLP.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mackenzie. Our first question tonight comes from Natalie Campbell of IRI FM, and it will be directed to Team PNP.
Councils often turn to central government for additional funding, as is the case now with the trucking of water during the drought. If the councils are not managing, why not have central government take over services such as this?
The truth is that any organization that is underfunded is not going to perform its responsibilities as it should. And it is the historical lack of investment in local government that spurred the PNP in 1995 to establish the reform unit and to officially launch the reform. So what we have had since then is a series of reforms that have improved the performance. So whether it was the parochial revenue fund as a dedicated source of revenue, whether it was new sources of revenue, whether it was enhancing existing sources of revenue. When we started back in 95, 95% of the monies that came to councils came as grants from central government. It is as a result of the reform that some of the claims to which the Jamaica Labour Party now hold on to, those have been made possible because of the reforms and the foundation laid by the People's National Party. We talk a little bit about why then should we still ensure that local government holds its place, and I'll allow the Minister Oscar to take that part.
Well, we have to, in a situation of crisis, as we have in drought, central government would most naturally have to intervene. So there are issues and there are areas where central government would have to intervene.
Thank you very much, Mr. Arscott. Let us now have a rebuttal from Team JLP.
It is the intention of the Jamaica Labour Party to ensure that adequate funding is available to enable the local authorities to carry out their business. Under the Jamaica Labour Party, the collection from property tax improved some 25–30%. This makes additional funding available to the local authorities. We are of the view that the local authorities should have access to funding from commercial services. We are also of the view that the local authorities should have the capacity and will have the capacity to access funds from international organizations. In the case of the European Union, we recognize that there are opportunities for us to get funding to assist with provision of water. And we don't think the trucking of water is sustainable. We want to establish and put in place sustainable method of getting water to the people.
Thank you very much, Mr. Brown. The second question goes to Team JLP and is from Dwayne Burbick of CVM TV.
Aside from making local government a department in the Office of the Prime Minister, what exactly did the JLP achieve in making local government more autonomous?
The Jamaica Labour Party came with a very deliberate strategy of making local government autonomous. We established a department because it was for a transitionary period until the councils got full autonomy. During that time, 4 councils indeed achieved that autonomy: St. James, Manchester, St. Thomas, and Trelawney. They received their funding and monies directly from the Ministry of Finance. It is our view that with that level of autonomy and independence of the councils, they can perform the services that they are supposed to perform. We have also moved to reduce bureaucracy. We have also moved to make the councils more accountable, and we have provided better management. Indeed, we were so accountable in bringing our accounts up to date that the councils in the 6 banana growing parishes were able to approach the European Union and got funding. In addition, a number of councils were commended by the Contractor General for their adherence to the government procurement guidelines. Therefore, better management, reduction of bureaucracy led to better services in the communities. The Jamaica Labour Party believes and is pushing autonomy, and that is why we abolished the Ministry of Local Government and made it into a department.
Thank you, Mr. Montague. Let's have a rebuttal now from Team PNP.
Well, it seems that the Jamaica Labour Party has once again relegated the local government councils. They speak about getting money directly from the Ministry of Finance. We're about empowering councils to raise their own funds, to be creative and innovative, and therefore to speak about a kind of mendicancy approach. That is not the style of the People's National Party. We're about real autonomy and real power for the people. The proposals that have been languishing, that was developed by the People's National Party, have still not been enforced in law. And therefore, the People's National Party will take those again and begin the process of really entrenching them in the Jamaican Constitution. So What I'd like to say to you is that, yes, we are going to put local government on an independent path to raise funds and for the citizens to be an integral part of the process.
Thank you, Mr. R. Scott. Next question is to Roma Tomlinson. It's from Roma Tomlinson, and it goes to Team PNP.
Over the years, we've heard much talk about local government reform, and we're hearing both parties now, including Team PNP, say that they will be, empowering persons at the local level. People power, I think, was the term that was used just not too long ago. But why should persons believe that the sweeping changes needed to really bring parish councils in particular up to par? Why should they believe that you're going to make those changes now?
Well, we have created an entire apparatus in terms of the whole reform of local government. There's a unit that the JLP councils inherited. It was well advanced in its work. A series of laws which should have been put through the parliament for debate and implementation. But we intend to begin the process. We promise to, as quickly as possible, not let them lie in any office at Jamaica House. But we intend to get them through cabinet and into the parliament for debate and implementation.
And before Mrs. Ramsey speaks about some of the things that Manchester has done as a parish, let us not forget that the People's National Party, as every term, has demonstrated a commitment to local government reform. When we talk about a similarity of views on some of the major issues, let us not forget how that came about. That came about because the People's National Party insisted that local government was too important an issue to play a political football with. And so we engaged a series of consultation, such that in 2007, before the Parliament, came the Nettleford Report with many of the items that I just heard you talk about.
Manchester stands proud in its efforts in the reform of local government.
Thank you, Ms. Ramsey. Let us have a rebuttal now from Team JLP.
The argument of empowering the people in order to participate in the advancement of local government is just a phase. I want to make the point. You cannot empower the people without first empowering the system, because the system is at the mercy of a minister. The minister dictates how the local government system operates. And we have seen it before where ministers have taken decisions that have hurt local government. The Jamaica Labour Party is of the firm belief that local government can work, full autonomy. We believe that entrenching local government fully in the Constitution of Jamaica is the only way to go, because it will protect the integrity of the system. It will allow the system to work. And as local government practitioners, we must be answerable to the people who elect us, because the people vote for us in the same way they vote for their members of parliament.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mackenzie. The next question is from Natalie Campbell. It goes to Team JLP.
Some have argued that local government should be run as a business. What systems or structures are in place to ensure fiscal responsibility and accountability in the councils?
We in the Jamaica Labour Party agree that local government should be run as a business. And we have taken steps to ensure this. As we speak, all councils, both those run by the Jamaica Labour Party and others, have their accounts up to date. You recognize that the reason why 4 parishes were able to access funding directly from the Ministry of Finance is that their accounts are up to date. This is a scheduled activity. We were scheduled to have all of the parishes doing the same by August of this year, with April being a date when 4 others would have gone directly to the Ministry of Finance. We have established the Public Accounts Committee in the councils. This is similar to the committee that operates at Parliament, except for the fact that we have citizens participating in this process. The local authorities, in the local government authorities, we have taken the budgets to the people. Before we implement the budget every year, we take the budget to the people. We have been participating with the parish development committees. They have members on several of the parish council committees. And we have been getting good support. We have been getting the people to participate. And we think that this makes us more able to serve the people and to be transparent in what we do.
Thank you very much, Mr. Brown. A rebuttal now from Team PNP.
I'm happy to stand and to hear Mr. Brown enunciating all of these good things. And it is good when you can follow good examples. Because long before anything, Manchester was the leading council with budget to the people. And Minister, the former minister, is now shaking his head because time and time again he has commended our council for good governance.
But let us not paint a picture that people know is not there. Let us at the very least be factual when we talk today. Because it is true. There are shining examples like Manchester. But it is not true to say that as a system we are taking the budgetary process to the people. That's where we would like to go. And the new proposed financial acts has some of the provisions to make that so. In terms of getting our accounts up to date, we know that's not true. The people of Jamaica, they know it is not true. That's where we'd want to go.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Brown-Burke. Dwayne Berbick has the next question and goes to Team PNP.
Some of the roads that were to be fixed under the Jamaica Development Infrastructure Program, they were parochial roads. How will the PNP seek to fill that void now created with the suspension of the program?
Well, let me begin that one of the disappointments about the JDIP is that the councils, in good faith, put their funds into the pool, and to their great disappointment, only a limited few were selected. Most of the roads were done without consultations with even the councils that provided the funds to central government so they could qualify for the loan. A set of deception took place in the country, and we'd like to say that this wrong must be right. And I'd say that the People's National Party will examine as close as possible the arrangements, and I've been trying to get them, the arrangements made from local government to central government, what proportion of their funds will be provided for roads.
But let us not forget that the Parochial Revenue Fund is a dedicated source of funding for roads. It's not adequate. And that is why in the proposals that we're bringing, we're talking about public-private partnership. We're talking about creativity by the councils in terms of how they get these things done. And just as our Manchester has been able to show some level of creativity, I am certain that there are councils that will stand up to that challenge and ensure that once is not hold on and take away with the Parochial Revenue Fund, we can put it to good use and then go and find our partners out there, whether it is community or private sector, to assist us in doing some of what we need to do.
Thank you, Mrs. Brown-Burke. A rebuttal now from Team JLP.
We don't mind following best practices, be they at Manchester, Westmoreland, or elsewhere. So, Brenda, we thank you.
Glad we could lead.
The JLP will need to find funding to address the matter of those roads that have been taken off the JDIP program. The roads are to serve the people in rural Jamaica, and we need to have them repaired, be they be in Manchester, Westmoreland, or St. Catherine. And it is a commitment of the Jamaica Labour Party to find funding to ensure that the roads that serve the real people of the country is addressed and they are repaired.
As a matter of fact, a number of the roads that were repaired under the JDIP program were recommended by the various councils. Land settlement in Manchester, indeed, in St. James, in St. Catherine, in St. Mary, in St. Anne, in St. Thomas, all over. A number of parish council roads were repaired under the JDIP program.
Thank you very much, Senator Montague. Roma Tomlinson has the next question. It goes to Team JLP.
On the matter of accountability to the people, I think it was just mentioned that some budgets are taken to the public. But a number of parish councils still have their finance committees closed to the media. If elected, would you consider opening those committees to the media for further scrutiny?
Well, definitely.
One of the things you must understand that the parish councils act under different regulations. There is the Kingston and St. Andrew Corporation Act and there are the Parish Council Act. The Finance Committee of Councils are indeed open to the public. I don't know of any such committee that is not. The fact is that the Jamaica Labour Party introduced a system that was put in place to ensure that the backlog of outstanding financial data at all parish councils was up to date. A significant portion of the parish councils, as I speak today, are up to date with their financial records. And as Senator Montague said earlier on, even the Contractor General, and if you look at some of the reports that go to Parliament from the Auditor General, does in fact speak to significant improvement at the level of the question of accountability at the parish council level.
Thank you, Mr. McKenzie. A rebuttal.
The Parish Development Committee has members that participate in the activity of the local authorities, all committees.
Thank you very much, Mayor Brown. A rebuttal now from Team PNP.
The People's National Party believes in greater participation and transparency because we believe that it improves significantly efficiency. It also empowers citizens to hold government accountable. And that is why they opened the sittings of Parliament and parliamentary committees so that the public can have full access to these committees and information. The new Local Governance Act will make provision for the preparation and publication of yearly plans, as well as reports will be made to the public on the authority's performance. The public accounts committees also will be opened to the public, and we commit to that. Contracts will be posted on the website.
Thank you, Mayor Ramsey. Roma Tomlinson has indicated that she'd like to use her first follow-up question.
A follow-up to Team JLP. You pointed out, sir, in your response, Mr. McKenzie, that all the financial committees, I believe was what you said, are indeed open to the public. But calls just today to a number of parish councils, I could give you names if you so desired, pointed out that no, these financial committees were not open to the media. So unless I'm not understanding, not opening to the media, does it mean then that it is open to the public but not open to the media? What I'm saying is that the actual person sitting in the Secretary Manager's offices pointed out that no, these financial committees are closed. So can you just point out that if elected, would you do something about that? Because clearly there is a difference in what we're understanding.
The Jamaica Labour Party have demonstrated that level of openness as it relates to transparency, because we have, in fact, put in place the necessary mechanisms to ensure that the level of transparency is there. For instance, you can go and obtain that information through the access of information. But let me say, whatever it takes to ensure that local government is transparent, that local government is responsive to the public cry for transparency, the Jamaica Labour Party is committed to it and will be working feverishly to ensure that that is done.
But in addition to that, you must understand that at the Finance Committee, there's also human resource matters. And those sections will not be open to the public because it deals with sensitive matters of employment to the employees within the system.
Thank you, Mr. Montague. A rebuttal now from Team PNP.
One of the things that I think we really need to talk about is exactly what is happening here. And part of the aim of the review with the strategic laws that we are proposing is to consolidate the laws that exist. It's one thing for the Kingston and St. Andrew Corporation, it's another thing for the parish councils. Just the other day, I accompanied the minister to the St. James Parish Council. And the gentleman sat in there wanting to just hear what was happening. And the mayor ordered him out. And I believe that if it is that we believe in transparency, then let us really act accordingly. I am pleased to hear Mr. Mackenzie saying that, because it was the PNP councillors who brought a resolution to the KCC that was turned down to post information on the website for that very transparency.
Thank you, Mrs. Brown-Burke. We'll now take a short break and invite you to stay tuned.
Now this one is called All About the Music.
Fulfilling hopes, creating dreams, and making a difference are at the heart of the Daniel Geddes Foundation. Through our Diageo Learning for Life skills training programs, over 1,800 Jamaicans now have a real chance of contributing to Jamaica's economic growth.
On being accepted, we learn a lot of things. Before, I thought I was just going to come and mix up some drinks and flip some bottles and stuff. But before we got to that, the meat of the matter, I learned personal development, working with colleagues and customers, communicating on the telephone instead of saying, hello, who is this?
Certified as bartenders, drapery makers, plumbers, tilers, waiters, housekeepers, customer service agents, and landscapers. Diageo Learning for Life graduates are empowered, competent, and able to give back to their families, communities, and Jamaica. The Daniel Geddes Foundation, here for Jamaicans, here for Jamaica.
It's all about the music.
The smiles on their faces mean more than just happiness. Since 2002, the JPS Early Childhood Nutrition Program has been supporting thousands of children across the island. The program now feeds 30,000 basic school students every day. With good nourishment, they're eager and able to learn. The JPS has links to communities that go well beyond wires and poles. Here, with a little help from JPS, early childhood students are getting a chance to shine.
Have you collected your voter ID card? If your name is on the voters list and you have not yet collected your voter ID card, please do so now. ID cards for electors on the voters list are available for collection at your EOJ constituency office. Your ID card makes it easier for you to vote. You will still be allowed to vote without your voter ID card, but you must be fingerprinted and sworn and undergo a lengthy verification process. For more information, call toll-free 1-888-991-8683. You may also visit www.ecj.com.jm.
Connect your business for only $25.95 US plus GCT per month. Our SME internet packages provide the fastest internet speeds in Jamaica with wireless included plus email accounts and web space. Get cost-effective solutions tailored for your business with 24/7 customer service and support. To get connected, call toll-free at 1-888-303-3030 or visit www.columbus-business.com. Columbus Business Solutions. One provider, all the solutions.
The Local Government Election Debate, brought to you by the Jamaica Debates Commission in association with the Canadian International Development Agency, CIDA, the British High Commission, the United Nations Development Programme, UNDP, the DNG Foundation, Jamaica Public Service Company Limited, and Columbus Business Solutions.
Welcome back to the first national local government debate being facilitated by the Jamaica Debates Commission. If you're just joining us, welcome. We invite Natalie Campbell to start this segment with a question for Team PNP.
Some markets could be described as disgraceful or disorderly, turning off many persons from using them. Is this an indictment on local government, and what is your approach to better management of markets?
We must admit that we are operating some very archaic facilities and that they are not in the conditions that we would want our vendors and purchasers to be operating in. What we must do, however, is to focus on how we can upgrade these particular facilities, at the same time making them more efficient and actually converting them to profit centers. And some of the ways we could do this by putting in solar panels and harvesting of water, rainwater. Globally, markets are tourism centers and attraction. And we aim to make Ocho and Montego Bay these types of markets. We need to identify areas where new facilities can be constructed, and already Portmore will be beneficiary of one of these new markets. Private and public partnerships will also be sought in the way forward.
Thank you, Mayor Ramsey. A rebuttal now from Team JLP.
We recognize that markets need to be attended to. And consequently, under the Jamaica Labour Party, we, over recent time, refurbished 8 of our markets, Buff Bay, Constant Spring, or Cabeza, St. Anne, and others. And these are now better places for the people to do business. We recognize that the markets are archaic. We recognize that the design of the market are such that the people do not want to occupy many of the markets. And we intend changing that to make the markets more friendly. The large concrete stores that were built in the market when they were built are not what the people want. You recognize that they build their own little shops. And we think that the changes we should make should enable them to use the facility, to have the facility like they want it.
I'd just like to follow up on that because the question of private public partnership in this development is of vital importance. And just last year, the Kingston and St. Andrew Corporation, under Jamaica Labour Party government, partnered with Digicel that spent close to $200 million on the refurbishing of the Carnation Market.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mackenzie. Dwayne Burbick has the next question, and it goes to Team JLP.
The rat infestation now affecting sections of the corporate area, is that reflective of the KCAC falling down on the job where its public health responsibility is concerned?
The Kingston and St. Andrew Corporation cannot isolate itself from what took place recently. As city managers, we want to share that responsibility. But if the truth be told, it is because of the practice of the new government where the senior managers at the National Solid Waste Management Authority, it is lack of proper garbage collection that has contributed to what has taken place in the corporate area. Never in the history of Jamaica as an educational institution has to be closed because of rat infestation. As I speak, there are several areas of the corporate area, and I believe I share the views of my colleagues across the country, where garbage has not been collected for a number of months now. Because one, some of the contractors don't know where they are going. Some contractors cannot be paid. It also speaks to the question of the separation of the services of public health and the local authorities. While the mayors are chairmen of the local board of health, those functions are separate and apart from the local authorities. And in this new dispensation of local government, that is one of the services that needs to be returned to the local authority, where you marry both at the same time.
Thank you, Mr. Mackenzie. A rebuttal now from Team PNP.
Mr. Mackenzie well knows that millions of dollars were owed to contractors of the NSWMA. Notwithstanding, we have a culture of the way we dispose of garbage. And the public health inspectors will tell you that we have to prevent rats getting to food. You can't feed the rats and expect them to disappear. And therefore, we intend to embark on a serious public education campaign to deal with how we dispose of our garbage, how we separate garbage, and how we deal with that.
And I wanted to add, let us not forget that when the People's National Party assumed office, there was over $100 million owed to contractors. You can't starve contractors and expect that they're going to pick up garbage. And it is the garbage left and piled up that provides the food for the rats that then create the problem that we have. So if we are going to debate today, let's at least be honest.
Thank you, Mrs. Brown-Burke. Roma Tomlinson has the next question to Team PNP.
Speaking of garbage, as was just mentioned, specifically, if Team PNP, if you win at the elections, Can you tell us specifically what you are going to be doing to improve on the garbage situation?
We intend to revisit the role of the councils in the question of collection of solid waste. Currently, our system run by the NSWMA, we need to partner with our local government officers and local government authorities. The question of a new approach will be developed. As I said before, we intend to do separation of garbage. We intend to have a serious education campaign. We intend to look at the public-private partnership in the waste-to-energy program. And we have actually been meeting with a number of interested persons who have the technology to deal with recycling and reuse of solid waste.
And let us not forget that in the past administration, what we found was that household collections were left to be the secondary collection because income was being derived from private collections. And this has also caused a problem. We intend to ensure that private collection gets its fair share because they are paying for this commodity.
And also, in terms of the commercial versus household garbage, the Solid Waste Management Authority cannot compete with contractors in terms of picking up garbage. And so that separation will have to be made.
Thank you, Mrs. Brown-Burke. A rebuttal from Team JLP.
I am shocked and surprised that these practitioners are not aware that we operated two separate units for private collection and for public collection. And therefore, don't try to trick the public. In addition to that, we started the waste-to-energy program, where the valuable resources at Riverton and at retirement could be utilized to produce some 40 megawatts of electricity. We started the composing, and therefore we have partnered with a private sector company to bag and to market. We have even exported some of that as soil treatment into other jurisdictions. So in terms of garbage collection, we have also expanded the reach into many more communities where persons now have that facility that they did not have before. We embarked on a major program of beautification, and you can understand how well Jamaica began to look because of the Jamaica Labour Party and our efforts in that regard.
Thank you, Mr. Montague. Natalie Campbell has the next question, and it goes to Team JLP.
Councils collect only a fraction of their fees. What guarantee can you give to Jamaicans that under your leadership, a better system of collection will be implemented island-wide to increase revenue and the council's ability to conduct their business?
Already, the Jamaica Labour Party, over recent times, has improved in a significant way its collection of property tax. We have been setting up systems. We have been going to the people rather than sending out letters to the people. We have been going to them directly. We talk to them when we have come into meetings. We ensure that they understand what the taxes is used for. Because we find that when persons know that their taxes is used for street light, for garbage collection, they respond positively. And that has caused an improvement in the revenue we collect. We also recognize that we need data. And we have been collecting data on businesses. We are now in a better position to access and to make approaches to individuals who ought to pay taxes, the business taxes. We have database now, and all the businesses in our parishes, that should enable us to collect more of our taxes from the users, from the business persons.
And just a quick follow-up. The local government system presently don't need to depend solely on central government for survival. In the case of the Kingston and St. Andrew Corporation, there are over 20,000 traders who earn an average of $500,000 annually, who is required to pay $5,000 a year. That would put over $200 million in the revenue corner of the local authorities. But what you need is the support to get those revenues.
Thank you, Mr. McKenzie. Rebuttal from Team PNP.
While we can admit to increase in collection of revenue from these sources. We must admit that the system is faulty. We do not have the regulations that will back us. There is no teeth in the law. And added to this, we have seen where there are selective people who do not pay tax. They live around the corner, and time after time they are overlooked. The system must be that if you are required to pay tax, you must pay your taxes. And another matter is that we have made suggestions to the Department of Local Government, and Mr. Montague will well recall, we are saying that no transaction, legal transaction sales should take place unless you have a certificate of payment of taxes. But it continues to happen. The legal reform needs to take place.
Thank you, Mayor Ramsey. Natalie Campbell has indicated that she would like to use her first follow-up question.
Mr. McKenzie, you said that the money is there to be had, but you need the support. What is causing you not to get the support?
For instance, let us take trade license. As I said before, the potential of trade license to the Kingston and St. Andrew Corporation is enormous. But we are dependent on central government system to collect that money. They show a little or no interest. When we took over in 2003, trade license collections in Kingston was at a mere $500,000 or more. When we started that initiative some 3 years ago, in the first 2 days of our drive, we netted some $25 million. The potential is there, but what is required is the law. And that is why the importance of a municipal court is going to strengthen the local authorities, because there are several cases that you take to the courts. And when those fines are levied, it goes into the consolidated fund. The support system is not there. And when you fine a local authority, which is not of the same liking as the government, you will not get the kind of support. So you need that level of independence to go after those revenues that are there.
Thank you, Mr. McKenzie. A rebuttal now from Team PNP.
You know, it is amazing that one could stand here and hear what has just been said. The truth of the matter is that we need systems. And it was the People's National Party, through the reform process, that began the process of dealing with the financial and accounting systems of the parish councils, that laid the foundation for some of the work that has been done. In addition, earlier we spoke about systems. It cannot be that we go on a one-man crusade to humiliate the individuals in the municipality into paying their taxes. It should be that we have a system in place that does not need a camera that will be the source by which the monies are collected.
Thank you, Mrs. Brownberg. Dwayne Burbick has the next question, and it is to Team PNP.
The new People's National Party administration, it has reversed the recommendation of the PSTU to make local government a department in OPM as a means of efficiency. Is it that the PSTU erred in its recommendation, and if not, how do you justify the reversal?
We believe that they erred in their recommendation, and they did because there are several aspects of the reform that is to take place, and what we need is a voice in the cabinet. As a matter of fact, it was Minister Montague at the time who came to the Kingston and St. Andrew Corporation and made that case forcefully to us about how we had to be pleading for things to be carried in the cabinet as far as local government is concerned. All over the world, in our Commonwealth system, you will find that even after full autonomy, there are issues that can still be handled by a local government ministry or a ministry through which local government interfaces with central government.
And it shows that historically, the Jamaica Labour Party has demonstrated that they really have no commitment to local governance, and history shows that. On the 5 occasions when councils have been dismantled, whether it was in the 50s, the 60s, or the 80s, this was under the Jamaica Labour Party. They have de-emphasized the relevance and role and importance of local governance. Most recently, when we thought that they would have redeemed themselves in 2007, here it was watered down to a department. No voice speaking in the cabinet unless, Mr. Montague, you were a ventriloquist. And
thank you very much, Mayor Ramsey. A rebuttal first from Team JLP.
The Jamaica Labour Party believes in full autonomy for local government. And therefore, we dismantled the Ministry of Local Government. And in Jamaica's 50th year, we believe that to reintroduce the Ministry of Local Government is a backward step. Indeed, when you look at the administration, a minister of state, and a myriad of consultants, those funds could be better used to improve services in the various communities. If our local government achieve full autonomy and independence, there is no need for local government to have a seat in the cabinet because they will be running their own affairs and they will be independent, they will raise their own funds, and the laws will protect them. And that is why we are pushing for full autonomy for local government. And the Jamaica Labour Party does not believe in inefficiencies, and we take them out of the system wherever they occur.
Thank you, Mr. Montague. Dwayne Berbick has indicated that he'd like to use his first follow-up question.
The reintroduction to ministry status, it has come with somewhat of an expense on the public purse at a time when we're trying to cut the public sector wage bill. The recommendation under the fiscal legislation, the fiscal responsibility legislation, is to bring it within 9% of GDP by 2015-2016. Isn't that a step back where achieving that goal is concerned?
The critical importance at this time of local government and the voice in the cabinet is well recognized. In fact, many of the synergies that exist between central and local government, some of these only central government can deal with. We have certain international relations which redound to the benefit of local government. For example, Mayor Brown spoke about the question of money from Europe that facilitated local government. Those were beneficial because of connections with central government. Therefore, we say that local government needs a voice in the highest level of the political directorate.
But let us talk about the inefficiencies of which Mr. Montague spoke. The truth is that when you balance in the scale the inefficiencies and the costs and the losses through the councils with some of the inefficiencies, with the additional revenue that might be expended for the bureaucracy, I think that you will see that it is worth it.
Thank you, Mrs. Brown-Burke. A rebuttal now from Team JLP.
I am glad to hear Senator Brown-Burke speaking of balance in the thing. But in that vein, I will ask Mayor Mackenzie to continue the response.
You know, I hear the Minister Scott spoke about the fact that funding was made available because of the program of reform. You're wrong. That was an initiative that was started under the Jamaica Labour Party. It was the Jamaica Labour Party mayors that went out and got that done. But I just want to get back to the point you made, Mayor Ramsey, about the Labour Party closing down local government and removing the service. I hope you were around when former Minister Bertram even went further than what we had on the table. He wanted regional councils.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mackenzie. Roma Tomlinson has the next question to Team JLP.
The upcoming local government elections are set to cost some $900 million, perhaps more, some persons believe. And given the challenges with the public purse, there are some who are advocating that the general elections and local elections be held at the same time to minimize some costs. What are your views? Is that something you would support?
The Jamaica Labour Party in the reform process believes that the term for the local government councillors should be increased from 3 to 4 years. The term for the parliament is 5 years. So immediately they would have a problem in aligning the laws. And therefore, if you have that problem, we would have to sit down as a nation to decide whether we are going to extend the councillor's term to 5 years or we are going to reduce the parliamentary term to 4 years. Mayor.
The Jamaica Labour Party is of the firm view that the difficulty we have with having the elections at the same time is mere the mere fact that it will be pretty cumbersome. However, as far as cost is concerned, if there is a gain to be made from having it at the same time, we have no difficulty with that.
Thank you, Mr. Montague. A rebuttal first from Team PNP.
You know, the truth of the matter is that we could always claim the fiscal space as a reason not to do anything. And so, for example, if we hire more teachers, we are going to increase the public purse, so let's close schools. I think the real question that Jamaica needs to answer is whether or not there is a role for the local authorities and whether or not local governance is something that we want to invest in. I think once we answer that question, it will be very, very clear to us as to whether or not we would want to twin those two elections. Because certainly what you're going to have is a de-emphasizing of the importance of local government and local governance. We are already challenged in terms of the public education that needs to take place, and therefore I believe a move in that direction would not be one that we would want to see happen.
And it is not by chance that every time the People's National Party forms the government that we see that civil society is far more vocal and active. And it is because
Thank you very
they
much,
don't
Mayor
feel threatened.
Ramsey. Roma Tomlinson has indicated that she would like to use her second follow-up question.
Councillor Brown said that one of the reasons why you may not be in favour of the two elections being held at the same time is because it would be cumbersome. How would that be so?
Okay. Even at this stage, when we have one election on election day, you recognize that in many instances, at 7 o'clock in the evening, there are still people in the polling stations. You recognize that if we expand that to have persons vote both for local authorities and the central authority at one time, we might end up being there at midnight. I'm suggesting that we are getting ready for it. I don't think we are yet ready for it.
Indeed, we also believe that the importance that must be attached to the local authorities, it should be separate. The Jamaica Labour Party believes that local government is a separate sphere of government from central, and therefore we believe in providing it with its independent legislation and its independent streams of revenue, and also to build the capacity within the system to make it separate, because it's a government that is closer to the people. It is the government that delivers to the people, and it is the government of the people. It is the government that is all-embracing.
A rebuttal from Team PNP.
I don't think that it is necessarily so, because in developed countries you have elections taking place for a number of positions on the same day. I do not see that electing two sets of government personnel on the same day can affect anything. So I cannot agree that holding them on the same day makes that difference.
And no, the position enunciated by Mrs. Ramsey is absolutely true, which is why I come back to the question. The question is not whether you have one or two elections together. The question is the role of local governance and whether or not it is important enough for us to hold it separately, focus there, so that the tribal system that we have would recede and people would focus on the local government reps.
Thank you, Mrs. Brown-Burke. Natalie Campbell has the next question to Team PNP.
This is not the first time that Jamaicans have heard about having local government entrenched in the Constitution. What assurance can you give tonight that this will move from promise to reality?
Well, as you know, our Prime Minister was once champion in local government. Therefore, we have a commitment at the highest level to ensure that those regulations that we have developed, all programs and plans, will be advanced on the platform of local government.
And let us add to that. In 2007, the People's National Party took to the Parliament, again, the Nettleford Report, where a number of these issues had already been agreed. In point of fact, in 2007, it was Mr. Golding who promised that in 2 years, all of this would have been behind us. And even though some of the laws went to Cabinet, it has languished at the very least for 2 years with nothing happening. It is not by accident, therefore, that we have placed in our manifesto a commitment to the people of Jamaica that beginning in our 50th year, we are going to advance that agenda for entrenchment.
A rebuttal now from Team JLP.
Indeed, on the issue of having both elections, I hear two different positions from Team PNP, but be that as it may. With regards to the entrenchment of local government, they do the talk, we do the work. We have drafted that amendment. It is there with the Attorney General and forms a part of the overall amendments to the Jamaican Constitution. We have done all the work on the strategic laws, and we await Cabinet instructions for drafting. We do the work, they do the talk. We have embraced the recommendations, and we are far advanced in implementing those recommendations. Mayor Brown.
We definitely will be ensuring that representation is made by our members of parliament and at the local level to support the position to have the local government enshrined in the Constitution during the 50th year. I was made to understand that that's a difficult assignment to achieve in the time, but the Labour Party, the Jamaica Labour Party, will be pushing to ensure that this is done. We support the initiative, and we supported the initiative to the extent that the matter of...
Thank you, Mayor Brown. We will now take a short break and invite you to stay tuned.
Now this one is called All About the Music.
Fulfilling hopes, creating dreams, and making a difference are at the heart of the Daniel Geddes Foundation. Through our Diageo Learning for Life skills training programs, over 1,800 Jamaicans now have a real chance of contributing to Jamaica's economic growth.
On being accepted, we learn a lot of things. Before, I thought I was just going to come and mix up some drinks and flip some bottles and stuff. But before we got to that, the meat of the matter, I learned personal development, working with colleagues and customers, communicating on the telephone instead of saying, hello, who is this?
Certified as bartenders, drapery makers, plumbers, tilers, waiters, housekeepers, customer service agents, and landscapers, Diageo Learning for Life graduates are empowered, competent, and able to give back to their families, communities, and Jamaica. The Daniel Geddes Foundation, here for Jamaicans, here for Jamaica.
It's all about the music.
The smiles on their faces mean more than just happiness. Since 2002, the JPS Early Childhood Nutrition Program has been supporting thousands of children across the island. The program now feeds 30,000 basic school students every day. With good nourishment, they're eager and able to learn. The JPS has links to communities that go well beyond wires and poles. Here, with a little help from JPS, early childhood students are getting a chance to shine.
Connect your business for only $25.95 US plus GCT per month. Our SME internet packages provide the fastest internet speeds in Jamaica with wireless included plus email accounts and web space. Get cost-effective solutions tailored for your business with 24/7 customer service and support. To get connected, call toll-free at 1-888-303-3030 or visit www.columbus-business.com. Columbus Business Solutions. One provider, all the solutions.
You didn't know that it's illegal to show anybody a ballot paper who you vote for? Your vote is secret, and if you show anybody at all who you vote for inside the polling station, the presiding officer will declare your ballot spoiled.
The law protects the secrecy of your ballot. You may be fined up to $80,000 or be imprisoned for up to 5 years for voting openly. Remember, you must mark your ballot behind a screen. Fold your ballot so that the mark is not exposed. If you expose your mark, your ballot will be declared spoilt. No one should ask you to expose your ballot, as this is a criminal offense. Your ballot cannot be traced back to you once the counterfoil has been removed. Your vote is your secret. Free and fair elections, it's up to you.
The Local Government Election Debate, brought to you by the Jamaica Debates Commission in association with the Canadian International Development Agency, CIDA, the British High Commission, the United Nations Development Programme, UNDP, the DNG Foundation, Jamaica Public Service Company Limited, and Columbus Business Solutions.
Welcome back to the first national local government debate being facilitated by the Jamaica Debates Commission. If you're just joining us, welcome. Dwayne Berbick picks up with Team JLP.
There has been much talk about making Portmore the 15th parish in Jamaica. Is that a view your party support, and how soon would you realize that?
The Jamaica Labour Party had placed that initiative on the table, and we still remain committed to the people of Portmore with that process in going forward. We had to delay because of the redrawing of the electoral boundaries. Now that that is done, we believe it is timely that the people of Portmore get their own parish so that they can be in charge of their own affairs. Currently, the funding to the municipality has to go to the St. Catherine Parish Council, then transmitted to the Portmore municipality. That needs to be changed. The people of Portmore, we believe, deserve their own space at the table, and we are creating that space, and the Jamaica Labour Party is committed in making the Sunshine City of Portmore the 15th parish in this beautiful country of Jamaica. But before we close, I just want to go back to the points that they made earlier, that you had two persons from TMPNP speaking on the same issue, two different stands, and we are saying, can the people of Portmore and Jamaica trust them with the local government system?
A rebuttal from Team PNP.
I'd like to say that Mr. Montague was dishonest in saying that the laws are with the Attorney General. These laws were presented, well, they were not taken by Cabinet, and they are languishing there, but we intend to take them. On the question of Portmore, the realignment of the boundaries will create an entire space for the Portmore municipality. We intend to empower the municipality to give it the status it deserves. And therefore, our commitment is not about a name. It's about a commitment to Portmore and its people for development and real development and independence.
I am standing here conflicted. When I hear the Jamaica Labour Party team this evening saying they believe in local governance, it is not by chance that the Jamaica Labour Party is seen as the big man party, because really their policies support top-down development.
Thank you, Mayor Ramsey. Roma Tomlinson has the next question. It's the Team PNP.
Recently, a noted tax specialist in this country and someone who has worked very closely with the accounts in parish councils across the country said that there were some 2,000, she was speaking to journalists, said that there were some 2,500 local government-related complaints languishing in the office of the DPP over a particular period of time. If elected come next week, what will you do to fast-track these things, which clearly need to be sorted out and cleared up?
Before we talk a little bit about the need for a municipal court and what that would do in response to the question that you have asked, I want to just deal with the issue that Mr. Montague has raised again. I understand that you do not understand complex matters. So let me make it very clear and very simple. Mrs. Ramsey was talking about the issue as to whether or not we could in fact have multiple names on a ballot, which she says is not sufficient to say that we would not have the elections. The point I made earlier still stands, that we do not believe that the two elections go together, because we believe that that would have the effect of de-emphasizing local government, and we believe that it is sufficiently important to what happens in the community and the development that we foresee at the community level to drive national development for it to be separate. Then, and also now let's talk about municipality. The truth of the matter is that Portmore deserves to await the analysis that was started on the experiment and the experience of the Portmore municipality, so that we can then see what are those other services and amenities that the municipality needs. We're talking about full autonomy, and the name parish does not guarantee that. Now, it is the establishment of the municipal courts and what we are going to do in that regard that will assist in some of the backlog with that. Also, in terms of just...
A rebuttal now from Team JLP.
It is obvious that the Honourable Minister is not hearing well. I said the draft constitutional amendment is with the Attorney General. Also, I don't know if both Senator Brown-Burke or Mayor Ramsey understand the concept of a Spanish machete, but Mayor Brown will deal with the matter of the municipalities.
Commitment. The Senator is talking about commitment and putting it to the country. that when local government elections are held on the 26th, there are several 2 or 3 divisions in the Portmore area that will not be able to vote for the Jamaica Labour Party mayor. They will not be able to vote for the mayor because the People's National Party should have gazetted the changes. They didn't. And consequently, those 2 or 3 constituencies will not be able to vote for Mayor Hines. Right? All they have is commitment in words. We need commitment in action.
Thank you very much, Mayor Brown. Natalie Campbell has the next question.
The teams have spoken tonight about the importance of local government, which is closest to the people. Yet many Jamaicans do not vote in the local polls. What has the party done outside of campaign season to increase interest in this system?
That's our question. I'm sorry.
That's our question.
Okay. You were taking so long, I wasn't
JLP.
sure.
Team JLP.
Don't be a bully now.
That's a very important question. And it speaks to the art of what is required in the reform. Because one will agree that it was since 2003 that Jamaica started to have a greater appreciation for the role and the work of local government. It was when we took control of the parish councils that people started to recognize. And we have seen a lot more participation. I have seen during my tenure as mayor where we got the private sector to come on board, and we have benefited significantly from that participation. So it is going to take time, and when people begin to trust the system, as they have started to do under the Jamaica Labour Party, and the more independent the system becomes, when it becomes autonomous, when people see us as our own masters, instead of depending on a minister to do certain things, then that appreciation and acceptance of local government will come, and you will have a greater participation. And we hope that this time around, people will listen to us and participate.
In taking the council's matters to the community in various consultations and workshops, in broadcasting on cable and on radio, we have brought this out there to the people so that the people are saying, under local government with the JLP, are yes or nice.
Thank you very much, Mr. Montague. A rebuttal from Team PNP.
I hear the passion. I hear the passion. And I hear the call for this Jamaica Labour Party to really be put in charge of the local government so the reform can continue. I hear we talking about balancing the thing. The people have no confidence in the Jamaica Labour Party. And on the 29th of December last year, they spoke in terms that were very clear. We in the People's National Party went out, and our credibility, we turned up the thing, and now, on the 26th, I appeal to Jamaicans, just join up the thing.
Thank you, Mayor Ramsey. Dwayne Burbick has the next question to Team PNP.
The direct election of mayors, this was done for the first time in Portmore in 2003. Are there plans by your party to bring that to other parish councils?
Yes, the People's National Party is examining the success. We are going to analyze the results from Portmore, and we are actively looking at other municipalities which will benefit from status such as Portmore.
The truth of the matter is that if you look at our manifesto, and we are committed enough to local government and local governance that we didn't wait until a couple of days before the election to place in the public domain what it is that we are going to do about local government. We had it there to give people time to read it and to assimilate. And you would see that an option that exists is in fact the direct election of mayor, and that in the various municipalities they have some criteria and some steps to take to make that request. But I also wanted to just talk a little bit about local government reform. The Jamaica Labour Party seems to believe that reform started in 2003. Now let us get it right. In 1995, with the establishment of the Local Government Reform Unit, we embarked on a process of reform that laid the foundation for significant success. The fact that when the JLP speak, they speak about we, all the councils, and what we have done. Let me remind you that not all councils are led by the Jamaica Labour Party. So the fact that even those councils that are led by the PNP have been able to achieve some stellar success tells you that you're working on a foundation.
Thank you, Senator Brown-Burke. A rebuttal from Team JLP.
Yeah, there is talk about confidence. The people were confident enough in 2003 to have voted for the Jamaica Labour Party in local government. The people were confident in 2007 to vote for the Jamaica Labour Party government. I put it to you that the people will be confident enough to vote for the Jamaica Labour Party again in 2012 in local government. The matter of the election of mayors, I'm suggesting that based on the performance of the JLP mayors, if they have direct election of mayors now, all councils would go to the Jamaica Labour Party.
Indeed, I hear the Team PNP speaking about their manifesto. If people do their research and read the sectorial presentation from the Department of Local Government, it seems as if, I am not accusing them of plagiarism, but it seems as if they were well researched. Indeed, it was the Jamaica Labour Party government that gave the PNP mayors and the JLP mayors space so that they can perform. And two shining examples are here, Mayor Ramsey and Mayor Brown.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Montague. Roman Tomlinson has the next question. It's the Team JLP.
Internal controls appear to be a problem in a number of parish councils, and I say this partly because of a recent Auditor General's report, which pointed to some challenges, some inefficiencies, which cost millions of dollars. If elected, how do you plan to clean that up?
The Jamaica Labour Party has brought the accounting system a far way. We set out on this goal of bringing all the financials up to date. We were pleased when the Auditor General did the audit because at least there was something to audit. We brought our accounts up to date so far that the councils could approach international funding agencies. As a matter of fact, we began to introduce in a number of councils an accounting software, which we are now being told that program has been suspended by this incoming government. But I'll allow Mayor Brown to continue.
There are 6 parishes that now have the Amanda system of accounting. We not only deal with accounting as far as money is concerned, we deal with accounting and management of our projects. The persons who submit plans to the council for certification, for approval, we know our system in Clarendon, in KCC, 4 other parishes, where you can actually monitor what is happening in the council as it relates to the plans. This is what the Jamaica Labour Party is about. We're not in the matter of talk. We're about action.
Thank you, Mayor Brown. A rebuttal from Team PNP.
I just want to make one point clear. Mr. Montague, the suspension of that financial management system is due to the fact that the expertise that resided in your former local government department was gotten rid of. And we now have nobody to be able to guide the councils through. I know Manchester is experiencing that particular problem.
Let me talk a little bit about, I'm not sure that Mr. Montague understands where he is and what he's doing.
He does.
I keep referring to the Nettleford report of 2007 for a reason. It was the culmination of years of research, consultation, and work done by the People's National Party. So, of course, it is not strange that in 2012, with local government having been asleep between 2007 and 2011, that the People's National Party should revisit those same recommendations that were placed before Parliament, where we had agreement and seek to put them forward.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Brown-Burke. Natalie Campbell has the next question to Team PNP.
Most town centres are places of disorder with street vending and traffic congestion, issues that the councils collaborate on with other state agencies. If councils can't get it right with basic order and services, why speed up autonomy for councils to take on more responsibility?
This is a generalization. Urban centres are expected to be busy places. There is no urban center anywhere in the world that you will not have congestion. how we manage this is going to depend on our resources. Let me speak about Manchester, where we have, through enforcement, been able to minimize congestion on our streets, whether it be through street vending or through traffic. We have put in place a permit parking and enforcement situation that makes space available because of the turnover. We have expanded our car parks and terminals. But the truth is that we are seeing the growth of motor vehicles on our streets that are really negatively impacting us. We need then to go to private-public partnership to establish additional parking spaces.
And all of what Mrs. Ramsey has said is absolutely true. But I'll talk about the case of the Kingston and St. Andrew Corporation. In 1998, when we started the discussion around street vending, we did not get the requisite support from the opposition. Of course, by 2003, being the kind of government that we are, we gave you support.
Thank you, Mrs. Brown-Burke. A rebuttal from Team JLP.
You know, I am amazed because in the similar way you speak about empowering the people, it is this same kind of empowerment that you didn't want the JLP Council to put in place to bring law and order to the streets of the corporate area. I hear you talk about that framework. Where was that framework that existed in the corporate area that speak to governance at that level? And I want to say it, and I'm going to say it again. The Jamaica Labour Party Council, speaking now specifically of the Kingston and St. Andrew Corporation, was the one that was able to bring law and order and regulate vending on our streets, parking on our streets. We put in disabled parking in the city of Kingston. Never before has that ever been tried and done. It was a Jamaica Labour Party-led KCC council that put up the amount of street signs, and you benefited significantly from it in your division.
Thank you very much.
You benefited significantly from it, Councillor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mackenzie. We're nearing the end of the debate. We now go to closing statements. Team PNP, based on the earlier coin toss decision, please go first.
Ladies and gentlemen, I hope that we have made the case today of why it is that you must trust the People's National Party with the local government at this point in our history. Team PNP came here this evening to do a couple of things. We came here to remind Jamaica of the PNP's record of achievement in local government and local governance. The record speaks for itself. We also came to expose the JLP's demonstrated lack of commitment to local governance. But most importantly, we came here today to share with you our vision of a strong, dynamic, capable, and open system of governance. One that is geared at creating space for all Jamaicans at the table where decision-making is concerned. No country can prosper with a minority creating wealth and growth for the majority. And it wasn't by accident that we chose the campaign theme of people power. But people power not done yet. We have to make people power work. The time is now to ensure a participatory approach to the decisions that are made by our councillors in our communities. Consultations, not insults, not arrogance. I ask you, therefore, to join with us and to restore dignity to local government, to restore proper management, to restore the foundation that was built and laid by the People's National Party that others left and put to sleep for 4 years. Where it languished, I ask you to go out, vote early, and vote PNP. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Brown-Burke. Team JLP, please go ahead with your closing statement on tonight's debate.
First of all, let us thank the debating commission and the sponsors and you, the listeners, for being here with us. The Jamaica Labour Party came here to clearly enunciate that we are in full support of total autonomy for our councillors. We believe that the councillors ought to be given the necessary respect that they deserve, and the system of local governance must also get that respect. The People's National Party has demonstrated disrespect by simply not even being able to put a full slate of councillors to the people of this country. We believe in transformation at the local government level, and we have transformed it, and we will continue that. We believe in reducing the bureaucracy so that you can continue to go out there to empower yourselves, to employ more Jamaicans, to make this great country of ours better. We believe in accountability, and that is why we improve the management systems at the councils so that every cent of the taxpayer's dollar can be accounted for. We believe in good management so that you in the community can get the services you deserve. The water up in Moko, the roads in the various housing schemes, the assistance with housing benefits. If we don't manage the limited resources we have, we can't give you those services. We, in the Jamaica Labour Party, we are committed to local government. Our mayors have demonstrated that ability. They have taken the resources at the local level and they have worked on your behalf. Indeed, we urge all Jamaicans to go out on the 26th of March. Go out early and vote for your Jamaica Labour Party candidate in your community. If you voted in December, come out again. This is another chance to vote for the JLP. If you did not vote, come out again and vote for the JLP. We ask all of Jamaica to support the Jamaica Labour Party on our way to transform local government.
Thank you very much, Mr. Montague. That concludes our first national political debate on local government issues between Member of Parliament Desmond McKenzie, Senator Robert Montague, and Mayor Milton Brown, who represented the JLP, and of Team PNP, Minister Noel Arscott, Senator Angela Brown-Burke, and Mayor Brenda Ramsey. On behalf of our funding partners, the Canadian International Development Agency, CIDA, the British High Commission, the United Nations Development Programme, UNDP, through the Centre for Leadership and Governance at the University of the West Indies, the Deno and Geddes Foundation, and the Jamaica Public Service, the Jamaica Debates Commission thanks the JLP and the PNP and all our other partners in this historic debate. So thanks for joining us. Thanks to our studio audience, and thanks to our production and funding partners. I'm Archibald Gordon. Good evening.